Ilia wins and says he wants to fight me, the UFC will make that fight.
I think so.
Because they know it's a money fight. As Ben was saying, that's like one of them fights where they were world press tour lad, like McGregor Aldo. I know I'd beat him. It's funny because I got laughed at for it. Game plan to beat him, lad. I didn't know how to beat him. No one like goes for his weaknesses when he fights out. Everyone just tries to have a boxing match with him. I'm not going to come out and have a boxing match with him. I'm going to beat him with my all-round MMA game. And as I said, no, I'd beat him, lad. And I reckon I'd proper hurt him and just shut everyone up even more like I love to do.
Paddy Pimblett just blasted Ilia Topuria, claiming he's Topuria's next opponent. This isn't just about a fight anymore, it's about vengeance. Pimblett declared Topuria won't survive what's coming, turning this bitter rivalry into an inevitable war fueled by real hate, insults, and unfinished business. Paddy Pimblett has reignited his fierce rivalry with Ilia Topuria, declaring that not only is he Topuria's rightful next opponent, but that he has already crafted the blueprint to destroy him. With a fiery claim that the midget won't survive, Paddy made it clear that he's not just chasing headlines, he's chasing a legacy-defining fight. He mocked others for trying to box with Topuria instead of exploiting his weaknesses through full-spectrum MMA, boldly claiming that he'll shut everyone up.
Ilia wins and says he wants to fight me, the UFC will make that fight.
I think so.
Because they know it's a money fight. As Ben was saying, that's like one of them fights where they were world press tour lad, like McGregor Aldo. I know I'd beat him. It's funny because I got laughed at for it, but I know I'd beat him.
Yeah, but that's what separates you from the other guys, from the other guys, isn't it?
I don't know I'd beat him, lad. We've already talked about a game plan to beat him, lad. I didn't know how to beat him. No one like goes for his weaknesses when he fights out. Everyone just tries to have a boxing match with him. I'm not going to come out and have a boxing match with him. I'm going to beat him with my all-round MMA game. And as I said, no, I'd beat him, lad. And I reckon I'd proper hurt him and just shut everyone up even more like I love to do.
Paddy further doubled down by stressing his significant size advantage, even suggesting a pre-fight stare down to visually expose the mismatch. While giving credit to Topuria's fast rise, he attributed it to Volkanovski having cleared the featherweight division before Ilia's arrival. Now, Paddy wants to welcome Ilia to the lightweight jungle, where Pimblett sees himself as the real lion.
Ilia's a midget. People don't understand how much bigger I am than Ilia. I'm so much bigger than him. People don't realise. I'd love to do a stare down with him, just so everyone could see how much bigger I actually am than him. Don't get me wrong, he's very good. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna, just because I don't like him, doesn't mean I'm gonna sit here and lie. But I also think he got fast-tracked to the belt because Volk had cleared the featherweight division out already. If he wants to come to lightweight, I'm here waiting. You know what I mean? I'll be there to welcome him. I don't think anyone else in the division has got more of a claim to welcome him to the division than I have. I'd love to have a fair fight with him and kick him all over the gap.
This rivalry didn't start in the cage. It began in a hotel lobby in London. Paddy believes their shared animosity has all the ingredients of the UFC's biggest storylines, saying their fight would be second only to John Jones versus Tom Aspinall in hype and money. The physical altercation and bad blood between them, he claims, are what would make their eventual clash a perfect narrative arc, from hotel fight to possible world title showdown.
Do you envision that being Ilia?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest, apart from John Jones Aspinall, I think that's the biggest fight the UFC could make. Me versus Ilia, there's loads of history in it. Like, there's bad blood, people love all that.
When you actually think back to the altercation in the London hotel, from that moment to actually leading us to a lightweight world title fight, I mean, that is a crazy narrative, isn't it?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Paddy hasn't let up on his verbal assault. He brought up Topuria's past weight struggles and mocked his ambitions of being a champion, insisting he'd prefer to win the belt first and let Topuria beg for a shot. He revisited their infamous hand sanitizer incident, calling it a sign of deeper animosity, and hinted at a backstage acknowledgement recently that proves the hatred still burns.
Ilia Topuria, you've had some words for him recently. You called him a little midget.
He called me fat. That's like, lad, you can't make your weight division anymore. He's a midget, lad. He's tiny.
It wasn't long ago you threw a hand sanitizer bottle at his head. There's still a bit of bad blood between you guys?
There's still always going to be bad blood just because we've seen him. I seen him the other week on stage and he was stood next to Hunter and I touched him down. That was because in the back, as he walked through, it was funny, all the security are like that. As he walked through, he just looked at me and went like that.
And I just started laughing my head off and done that back, because we still don't like each other.
Would you want to see him win the title? Because that's an easy fight to make. Paddy versus Ilia Topuria.
No, don't want him to win it, definitely not. I'll win the belt and then he can fight me for it.
Though he once said he had forgotten Topuria, Paddy couldn't help but throw shade, calling him irrelevant and refusing to even use his name. Yet, with calculated confidence, he reminded everyone that he's higher ranked and already proven at lightweight, unlike Topuria. He compared him to Chandler, whom he claimed to dominate easily, saying Topuria would fold even quicker.
To be honest, I forgot about him. I forgot all about him, or I would have mentioned him in the cage, you know what I mean? I don't call him hand sanitizer boy anymore, he's not well Chirito. But as I say, I literally forgot all about him. That's how relevant he is. I'm ranked higher than he is at lightweight, so, you know, I'd love to welcome him to 155, but apparently he's sitting out and waiting for the title shot. But you know, that what I've just done to Chandler's after blueprint to beating him. He's even more of a midget than Chandler is. Like, I'll do the exact same thing to Ilia than what I've done to Chandler.
On the other hand, Ilia Topuria hasn't stayed quiet either. Reflecting on their London clash, Topuria said he deliberately talked over Paddy at a press conference just to avoid hearing him speak. He predicted he'll smash his face when they fight and floated the idea of headlining UFC Spain. A historic possibility, he said, would be amazing, especially if it involves ending Paddy's hype in front of 80,000 Spanish fans.
It happens in London when I fought the last time with Paddy. It happens this time. And I didn't have any distractions with that, you know. So the thing was, I was in press conference that Mushroom was talking, and I don't want to listen to him. So I prefer to talk. Me, you know. So I know that I'm gonna face that one day, and I'm gonna smash his face.
Maybe the first event ever in Spain.
Wow, that will be fucking amazing. Amazing.
Analyst Chael Sonnen spotlighted the legitimacy of this feud, comparing it to Masvidal versus Edwards. He noted the visual proof of their bad blood. This isn't just hype, it's a deeply personal war. However, a major hurdle remains. Topuria must first defeat Charles Oliveira for any of this to happen. Chael Sonnen even stressed that despite Pimblett's other ambitions, Topuria versus. Pimblett is the fight fans demand if Topuria wins his upcoming bout.
Ilia Topuria versus Paddy is one of the truest grudges that we have in our sport right now. Some of you might not have known about it, and the rest of you might have forgot about it. But that B-roll and footage exists. Every bit as much as Masvidal and Leon exist, Ilia and Paddy exist. But how do we get there? One thing that Paddy said about his career, he said, fight Gaethje and then I'll go deal with Charles. But he had a different idea if Ilia won. If Ilia wins and that's the big grudge match, move Gaethje out of the side, he's ready for the title right now.
And then came the real shot. When Topuria vacated the featherweight belt to move up, Paddy mocked him for dodging Volkanovski and trying to mimic Conor McGregor. He denied Topuria's claims of outgrowing 145, pointing out his small stature and contrasting it with his flawless record of making weight.
The newest addition to your division, Ilia Topuria, has decided to relinquish the featherweight championship, moving up to lightweight. You don't think that he's going to do much in this division? I guess you're thinking that he's not big enough?
No, he's not big enough at all. He's can't believe he vacated his belt, lad. You know what I mean? It's running away from Volk. I think if he would have done 3 defences, he wouldn't have had to vacate his belt. He would have just moved up and forfeited and tried to be double champ. Tried to copy his idol, Conor McGregor, if he's copied his tattoos and all that, the little sausage.
Do you at least respect the risk that he's taking?
Yeah, give him his due, he's moving up, but he talks lad. You know what I mean? He's saying he's too big to make featherweight. You're about this big. You know what I mean? Tries to call me fat in interviews, lad. Like, if you can't make featherweight, you're a fat little you know what I mean? You're about 5'5". Like, at least I'm a big ass lightweight, you know what I mean? And I've never missed weight, I've never talked about moving up, because I'm a professional, you know what I mean? You're a little
Chael Sonnen weighed in again, saying that while Ilia's performance against Volkanovski was stellar, his focus has always remained quietly lethal. He doesn't chase media, he just fights. But Sonnen added that Ilia already has his sights set on Paddy next, no matter what happens with Charles Oliveira.
So when you hear about this Ilia Topuria and he wants to be world champion, there's not a whole lot to it. Then he ends up in a back and forth with Paddy the Baddy, but that's a different weight class. Paddy's a star, and people can't pronounce Topuria. All right, well, he stays to the course, and he keeps beating people up one by one. And he never tried to do interviews or grab a microphone. He never tried to cut a line. He just beat people's ass until he got put in a spot that he's not going to be able to overcome. He's got to take on the #1 guy, not just for the world title, which he wanted to be. He's got to take out the #1 pound-for-pound fighter ever. He's ran into the division's great ever GOAT. He knocks him out. Ilia Topuria knocks him out, draws himself into Max Holloway, who's coming back home.
Meanwhile, Michael Bisping offered a strategic view, saying fighters don't fail against Ilia due to poor planning, but because he disrupts their rhythm. For Paddy to win, he'll need to frustrate Topuria with movement, leg kicks, takedowns, and avoid brawling. While Bisping praised Topuria's jiu-jitsu and footwork, he noted that Paddy's grappling could be the equalizer.
I don't think everyone chose to fight Ilia Topuria's type of fight because they didn't have a different game plan. No, it was because Ilia Topuria stopped them from executing their game plan. I would say if I'm training Paddy or Paddy's coach, the game plan would be to dance around, to use the leg kicks, to avoid a boxing match, to shoot in, to get a double leg, to push him up against the fence, to stall him, to frustrate him, do whatever he can to take him down, because that's Paddy's best element of his game plan. Whereas Ilia Topuria, he's got good jiu-jitsu, he has got very good wrestling, but it's the power in the hands that make all the difference. It's the power in the hands, which is why I'm picking him against Charles Oliveira, because I just think he'll catch him at some point. But nothing is guaranteed in MMA. You cannot take anything for granted. So many ways to win and lose. I think for the most part, it's just because Ilia Topuria is that good. He moves around the octagon. He's got excellent footwork. He controls the rhythm, controls the range. He's a threat with the strikes.
What started as words soon became a war. Moving on, we will talk about how Sonnen highlighted the intensity of Ilia Topuria's obsession with Paddy Pimblett, noting that even with a dangerous fight against Charles Oliveira ahead, Topuria's focus is already locked on Paddy, regardless of the outcome. Chael emphasized the raw power of Ilia's statement, "I hate him," calling it one of the most brutally honest lines in UFC trash talk history. For Sonnen, that single phrase wasn't just fight hype, it was proof that this rivalry is as real and personal as it gets.
Ilia Topuria's crazy ass has got his hands full with Charles Oliveira. He's already past it. Whether he wins or he loses, he already knows what he wants next, which is not based on outcome. Whether he wins or he loses, he wants Paddy the Baddy. And what did Ilia say that brought such a humor to my ears? What did he say? I hate him. What a dick! He said, I hate him. Is there ever been trash talk? Tell me something that you've heard that's worse than that. Tell me something you've ever heard that's meaner than that. Now, I know the history between them.
From trash talk to threats, Paddy Pimblett's deep-rooted hatred for Ilia Topuria stems from a controversial tweet Pimblett posted during the 2008 Russia-Georgia war. Topuria, who witnessed the conflict, found the tweet a personal attack that made his blood boil, turning their rivalry into an emotional, high-stakes vendetta.
Because if Ilia Topuria is successful against Charles "Du Bronx" Oliveira, which I would imagine that he's going to be a favourite coming into this one with the bookies. If Ilia Topuria beats him,
A UFC coach recently shared insights into the upcoming Charles Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria bout. The coach noted that while the UFC appears to view Topuria as a significant future star, Oliveira possesses the capabilities to disrupt these plans. It was acknowledged that if Oliveira performs at his peak, he has all the tools necessary to prevent Topuria's anticipated ascendancy.
That's a dangerous fight. Rab calls it stupid to make Ilia Topuria fight Charles Oliveira before Islam Makhachev.
How is that?
Ilia Topuria says he got promised promised that he would fight for the title if he vacates.
By who? The security guard outside his room?
Yeah, he kind of hinted that he got promised that. I feel like Charles, Ilia,
That'd be fire.
I think Ilia might batter him. The way Charles comes forward with those reckless knees,
and he's got the
danger.
chin floating up high too.
Stands up tall like a really tall Muay Thai guy, and Ilia's like a low boxer. That's a dangerous fight for Charles.
Ilia Topuria has expressed strong confidence regarding his upcoming bout, asserting that Charles Oliveira has not encountered an opponent of his caliber. Topuria has claimed his power will be overwhelming, stating once I touch him, he will go down. Furthermore, he has dismissed concerns about the ground game, emphasizing his daily training with black belts and his ability to manage exchanges should the fight transition to the mat.
No le faltaba, he dicho la verdad, tiene 10 derrotas, no he dicho otra cosa. Tiene 10 derrotas, 5 por knockout, 4 por sumisión, 1 por decisión. Dice que es la división más difícil que hay. Cuando él estaba peleando en 145, hasta Cub Swanson le ha metido una paliza. Ahí se tiene que acabar la conversación. Algo que no pudo conseguir en 145 libras, lo consiguió en 155, que se convirtió en campeón del mundo. Entonces, ¿por qué esa división es más difícil que de la que yo vengo? O sea, no le encuentro ninguna lógica, y por eso dije también que parece que no se ha leído ni la hoja de un periódico. Así que si eso es una falta de respeto, yo no sé desde cuándo decir la verdad es una falta de respeto. Yo nunca mezclo lo personal con lo profesional, ¿verdad? No tengo ningún problema con Charles. Seguramente una vez nuestras carreras se hayan acabado, podamos estar juntos, pasar un buen rato.
Charles Oliveira responded to Topuria's claims with composure. He acknowledged Ilia's power and undefeated record, but remained unfazed. Oliveira asserted that he has faced many formidable opponents before. Viewing Topuria as just another challenge, he intends to tame him like the rest. He added that despite fighters consistently trying to finish him, he always rises from the ashes.
Então, eu tô em busca do título. Eu não corro de ninguém, nunca corri, não vai ser agora que eu vou correr. Eu tô pronto para lutar contra qualquer um desses caras, né? Respeito todos eles, mas vou imprimir meu ritmo, meu jogo. Por que não, né? Se for pelo título, por que não lutar com o Topuria? Eu tô em busca do título, eu não quero fazer mais uma luta para poder esperar o título, não. Pra mim isso não me interessa, eu quero lutar pelo título. Só gritar lá, a molecada gritar, tal, tinha acabado o treino, tal. Pega o telefone, peguei o telefone, milhares de mensagens, eu fui direto pro Diego já. E aí, é isso, vambora, tamo pronto, 46 dias. 46 dias pra esse cinturão voltar pra onde que ele nunca devia ter saído. Só vamos se apegar no que a gente tem que se apegar, manter o foco e fazer acontecer.
In his quest to establish himself as a true force at lightweight, Ilia pointed to his dominant performance against Michael Chandler, a fight he believes was even more impressive than Charles Oliveira's showing against the same opponent. Ilia emphasized that being undefeated instills a different kind of mindset, one that doesn't accept defeat no matter the odds. According to him, that unwavering mentality is what sets him apart from the rest, and it's exactly what will break Paddy Pimblett when they finally meet inside the octagon.
Is phenomenal. Let's call it what it is. He's a great fighter. He's undefeated. He's a world champion. He knocks people out. He really has become a true star in the UFC. And 4 was Ilia Topuria. Because I feel, especially watching the way people are responding and reacting to him, he has that ability to ascend to one of the biggest stars in the UFC. That's true.
Across the cage, the energy was different. Daniel Cormier highlighted Ilia Topuria's youth, power, and undefeated record as key assets. However, DC stressed that Topuria's immediate and crucial test against Charles Oliveira posed a significant threat, warning that one careless second could be devastating. Despite Topuria's speed, Oliveira's vast experience and resilience offer a massive counter, making this fight a critical challenge that must be overcome before any highly anticipated clash with Paddy Pimblett can materialize.
Is phenomenal. Let's call it what it is. He's a great fighter. He's undefeated. He's a world champion. He knocks people out. He really has become a true star in the UFC. And 4 was Ilia Topuria. Because I feel, especially watching the way people are responding and reacting to him, he has that ability to ascend to one of the biggest stars in the UFC. That's true.
Meanwhile, on the other side, Henry Cejudo analyzed Ilia Topuria's upcoming fight with Charles Oliveira, highlighting Topuria's aggressive striking and knockout power against Oliveira's legendary jiu-jitsu and recovery skills. Cejudo views it as a clash of explosiveness versus experience, emphasizing Oliveira's grappling could be decisive on the ground. This critical challenge against Oliveira is Topuria's immediate hurdle before a highly anticipated clash with Paddy Pimblett can materialize.
I mean, I don't think nobody has ever witnessed somebody in the sport of mixed martial arts that's been able to be as slick as Charles Oliveira on taking the back, on going for triangles, on going for arm bars, on going for everything that you can think of. But what makes him special is the fact that he could chain it all together. He can go from takedown to taking the back to submission. He can go from head and arm to eventually maybe messing with the
This isn't just a fight, it's a war years in the making. From hotel brawls to headline callouts, Paddy and Ilia's bad blood has only grown deeper. Now, with both men rising through the lightweight ranks, their long-standing feud is reaching a boiling point. A clash feels inevitable, fueled by ego, history, and unfinished business. When history, hate, and hype collide, only one man will rise. Share your thoughts in the comment section and make sure to subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video.